Bucks fans, I'm back with Sam Belanger, number 15, and a veteran defenseman now in his first full calendar year with the Cranbrook Bucks. First full season at that, too, coming a little bit into last season by way of trade. Sam, it's been a year now. How are things with you?
Yeah. Well, it's been a little bit over a year since I've been here, so I mean things have been great. Um, yeah, I mean last year it was a very different type of group. We were, I thought we were like a lot younger, not as experienced, and this year we have, I feel like our twenties, they're solid group of guys, and then our younger guys are helping us out a lot. So I think that's why we're having the success we are this year. And yeah,
Now, during your time here, you've become one of the most popular, I'd say, in the dressing room, off the ice. I know we dap up a lot too, so in the broadcast booth that extends up there.
yeah.
Just how are you enjoying that kind of popularity? You seem to be very, entrenched in the community here.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say I'm the most popular guy, but yeah, I mean, the community's been great. I mean, we have a great group of guys. I mean, I have a lot of fun here. I hang out with mostly Jacob Fletcher and Jordan Murray. I mean, we set the ring
Hmm.
together all the time. So, I mean, we see people, we go, whether it's at the pool during the rink or we engage with the community a lot in that way. So, and yeah, it's great. It's fun.
So we talked a little bit about differences between last year to this year, just off the top there. Very hot start, and obviously it's leveled off just a little bit. Still picking up wins though. Had a couple of tough teams. Just what's the morale like right now? It still seems like everybody's really tuned in, even though the results have been, slipping a little bit the last couple weeks.
Yeah, well, I mean, nothing's changed for us. I mean, we know what our group is capable of. I mean, winning the league is our only goal, and
Mhm.
this team is capable of doing it for sure. I mean, every team in this league is beatable, and I think we started off really hot, and I don't know if that got to our heads or whatever, but I mean, every team's beatable, and then we see these teams are all like close scoring games, and we're right there with them. So we'll figure it out. We'll bounce back, and yeah, we're a good team, and we know it.
Especially the blue line this year. We mentioned too. It seemed last year maybe a little bit younger, but everybody who's come back has come back with some more size, some more speed, better
Hmm.
hockey sense. Really feeling good about the blue line this year. How about you? You're in the trenches there, with the defense group. Tell us about that. This year's group of blue liners.
Well, I believe our group of blue line is old and experienced, and I think we have a lot of depth. So I mean, yeah, I mean we have, I mean, me, Sucro, obviously Fennel, another one, Mally, Legs. I mean, we're all old guys, and then only your young guys is like Quinn, and then we have Jordan Murray. I mean, he's young, but I mean, he's on his third junior year, so I think we have lots of experience. And yeah, I mean, our decor is. I mean, I think we're doing really well right now. A few things we got to touch up on, but yeah, overall we're good. I think we're solid old group of guys.
I gotta tell you, as a 40-year-old, it hurts me a little bit to hear you call yourselves old. It's like
I mean, yeah. I mean, after 5 years in this league, I mean, starting to feel a little old here.
Yeah, it passes by so quick too, and
It does.
you've had
It
a
does.
very full body of work during your time in the BCHL, and a couple visits back to Powell River too. That
Yeah.
that must be a fun trip for you to get to go back to that rink when the rink's working.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's always, yeah, I know I saw that last weekend. They were on the other side. I know, tough bounce, but yeah, I mean, it's always fun, the fairs. Like last time when we went down there, we saw a few whales on the ferry. So that, I mean, that was a pretty cool. I mean, we saw it a few times when I was there, but for all the guys, you're on the water by the ocean, you see some mountains, some snow. I mean, it's beautiful down there. So it's always fun to go out there. Brings back some memories.
last time we had you on, we talked a lot about your Quebec roots, what that meant to you. Did you get back there in the off season?
Oh yeah, for sure. I always go back to my family, my mom and dad and brother, back to Montreal, Blainville, and no, I get back to my trainers back in Saint Jerome, and yeah, it's great. Love it back home.
And parents were out here, I believe, for Parents Weekend not
Yeah,
too long
yeah,
ago
that's
as
right for
well.
Parents Weekend. Yeah, they came out.
Yeah, so how are they, liking the odd trip out here? Are they,
Well, they lived actually in BC for over 4 years with me when I was a lot younger. So they know we stayed in Kelowna for 2 years, Vancouver for a bit, and then Edmonton too for one. So they love it. They love making a trip back here too. It brings back memories for them as well. So they love the Rockies and all that.
that's good. Yeah, no, I always like to hear that too. We always tell people like, enjoy it here, just don't tell anybody about it.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a little hidden gem.
So
Mhm.
you mentioned a little bit earlier too. You're kind of clicking up a lot. Jacob Fletcher and Jordan Murray, a couple of. Well, I guess Murray's not really East Coast guy, but East of
Yeah,
Saskatchewan guys. Just tell me a little bit about that
Manitoba.
click. Yeah, yeah, Manitoba. There you go.
Yeah, yeah.
Just tell us a little bit about that. How you guys click. And just things off the ice that you might be getting up to.
Yeah, well, I mean, we just spend the whole day together from 9 to 5. We're just like it's like the three of us. So I mean, we work out together, and then we always go to the pool, the sauna, and then we hot tub together. And then now we started recently doing some hot cold too at home. Got a cold bin, a hot tub, and then we switch there. But yeah, I mean, it's great. It's fun to have people as passionate as you and do it with. So yeah, they've been great.
Yeah, no, and I know we've had Jacob on a few times. Still got to get to Murray this season too, but
Yeah,
yeah, no,
yeah.
a couple of big pieces to the roster this year from guys that took their lumps like you last year on a team that, you know what, had its definitely good moments. That playoff series was a lot of fun, but I know talking to guys too, the goal is definitely a little bit more than 7 games this time around.
Yeah, yeah, no, for sure.
Staying healthy during this stretch sometimes is tough. I guess just how do you guys kind of keep above that and just make sure that you guys are keeping not so much in shape, but just keeping healthy, not injured, all that kind of stuff. Watching the bumps and bruises.
Yeah. Yeah, well, for sure. Well, for playoffs, we don't really think about playoffs right now. I mean, that's the goal, obviously, but we focus on our game right now and how we can get better to prepare us for the playoffs. So, yeah, we you look at the standings, whatnot, but you can't care that much about it. And for bumps and bruises, I mean, we just have to take care of our bodies. That's on and off the ice. We got our trainer Madison. He's helping us a lot with all that stuff. Whether it's taking a break or taping up some ankles, whatnot. And yeah, I mean, like me, Fletcher, and Jordan, and a lot more guys too. We sauna, and like take care of our bodies, trying to recover. So yeah, I mean, if you're on that, then hopefully good things will happen and injuries will stay away.
Right on. I'll start to wind it down a little bit here. We're starting to get into overtime just a tad, but just checking in. Good chance to shout out the billets. Who do you got this year?
I got Kyle and Ellen Vandell. Same as last year. They're great. They're awesome. Oh yeah, they're just they make like the home feel like home. They get me everything I need and more probably too. So they've been nothing but the best to me.
And one last one, just a chance to shout out the Cranbrook Bucks fans that'll be watching this on the Cranbrook Bucks Insider or listening on the Bucktails podcast. What do you got for them?
Well, I just want to thank you guys for coming out to every game. I mean, you guys are awesome. You guys are the best, and it's great to have you out there and support us. Thank you.
All right, Sam, I'll let you to it. It's a big weekend ahead. Best of luck. We'll see you at the rink.
Yeah, thanks, Wiley, for having me.
As always, Sam Belanger, number 15, Cranbrook Bucks. All right, cool.
Do you hear the dogs?
Bucks fans, I am here with the longtime listener, first time caller, Sam Lyne. Sam, how's it going?
I'm good. How are you, Wiley?
Pretty good, pretty good. Obviously, good timing as we were talking off air just with this interview. Huge congratulations are in order. I know the congratulations have been pouring in from social media. If it's your first time hearing, Sam Lyne has been named to Team Great Britain for the World Junior Hockey Championships. So, once again, congrats. And I guess just tell us a little bit about that whole process.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Wiley. Yeah, it's something I'm definitely super excited about. Playing obviously from a smaller country with not much high level hockey, so it's a pleasure to represent my country. That I did represent them at the U18 World Championships as well, so it's something I've got some experience in. But no, I'm super excited to go out there and play for my country.
Yeah, again, congratulations. Just want to talk a little bit too, just about what that hockey scene looks like in Great Britain, in England specifically, of course, being from Chelmsford. So, I remember working in news and I worked with the next BBC reporter, Glenn Hicks. And he would tell me that the only real exposure that you would get for NHL hockey was when a team won the Stanley Cup. And it was not so much that they won the cup, but more of a blooper reel thing because the cup's so big. So just I guess what kind of was your exposure to the game and what got you into it?
Yeah, so I actually had a few buddies back home that like their dads played. So me and my dad would always go public skating. That's a pretty, big activity back home. And I was fortunate enough to live like 10, 15 minutes away from an ice rink, which, there are not many of them in Great Britain. So that was pretty fortunate. And then we just saw a learn to play like advertisement and then kind of went from there and signed up, and then the rest is history. But yeah, like you say, watching hockey is not easy in England, especially, all the games are starting at like 12, 1 a.m. But I remember always staying up to watch the Winter Classic, the Stanley Cup. Like this past year, I watched the Game 7 at 4 or 5 a.m. in the morning. So yeah, that's really the only time that it's kind of broadcast is in England, as obviously you got soccer and rugby and all these other sports that are more popular back home.
And obviously a standout in the England hockey scene, catching the eye of the Cranbrook Bucks. And I guess just a little bit about how that relationship sort of touched off and what ended up bringing out here, last year during the playoffs.
Yeah, so I mean, I've actually played away from home since I was the age of about 13, 14. I started at Ontario Hockey Academy out in Cornwall, Ontario, before going to Northwood School up in Lake Placid, New York. I spent 3 years there, which was, some of the best time of my life. And then in my last year, I ended up committing to Colgate, and it turns out that they have a good connection with Ryan Donalds, obviously through Yale, and that sort of connection. And then they started getting chatting, and then Ryan invited me out for playoffs, and then I came out, and I loved it, and it was a good reception, and I immediately wanted to come here for the next year.
Yeah, you clicked immediately during that playoff series too. I think you came in when we were down 3-0, almost reversed the sweep. You were a big part of that momentum swing too. And so, how was that for a welcome to the BCHL moment? Kind of getting thrown to the wolves, so to speak. And not really knowing what to expect, and then just prolonging the run ever so slightly.
Yeah, no, it was absolutely awesome. I've always dreamed about playing in like a best of seven series, let alone a game seven. So that was pretty awesome. And that coming in, it was definitely a little bit of pressure and a little bit of nerves being 3-0 down, and I've never really played in a crowd, but in front of a crowd that big before, and it had never been broadcasted like that before. So I kind of just went out and played, and the guys were super awesome. They brought me in and kind of felt like I'd been there all year, to be honest. So it was super easy to kind of get settled, which allowed me to play my best game.
And then just off the ice too, just kind of getting used to Cranbrook. Only here for a short time, obviously in the spring. You've been able to kind of take it in a little bit more now. What's that shift been like? Just kind of going from England to Lake Placid to here. It's I guess three different extremes.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot different than back home. I'd say Cranbrook's a lot more similar to Lake Placid than it is England, just for the weather and kind of remote town. So I was kind of used for the cold. Luckily, when I came for playoffs, there wasn't any snow, which was pretty nice. But yeah, it's definitely a lot different. But I love it out here. It's nice and quiet. A lot of nature, a lot of wildlife, and the town and the people are super nice, super kind. People recognize you when you walk around, so that's pretty cool to see. But yeah, I'm just loving it here.
Yeah, usually, by the way, the November snow, it usually kind of, inches itself in. It doesn't introduce its entire
Yeah,
season worth in 4-day weekend stretched. That was a bit of an anomaly, but yeah,
yeah, it
welcome to
was a
Cranbrook
big
with that
dump.
one too.
Yeah.
So with the bit of experience you get in the playoffs, a lot of players from that team returning this year. Um, I've been talking to a lot of the guys too, especially some of the returning guys. Did that make it easy to kind of be with them through a training camp exhibition season and kind of get to know the structure a little bit more heading into the season?
Definitely, yeah. I think, yeah, even those like 2 weeks where I was here for playoffs, just getting, face to names and getting to know the coaches and everything, it made it a lot easier coming in this year. And then the training camp, that whole process with the games, practices, off ice workouts, the systems and everything, that made it just super easy. So when the season came around, we could, hit the ground running, which I think we did for that first weekend.
How would you describe your style of play?
I like to describe myself as a pretty heavy player, sort of that power forward role, getting in front of the net, being kind of gritty in the corners, being heavy, physicality, blocking shots. Nothing pretty, just kind of work ethic and you getting the job done.
Yeah, I love that you said power forward. I know I've thrown that out quite a few times on our broadcasts about you specifically. With that, do you have anybody, at the pro level or even, from European English pro hockey that have, stood out to you that maybe you want to emulate or that you've kind of studied a little bit?
I've watched a lot of Matthew Kachuk. I just love how how he plays the game and he gets in the opponent's head and everyone hates to play against him, but everyone loves having him on the team. So that's kind of like the guy I want to be. And he's gritty, he scores goals, he's physical, he's a good team player, he works hard. So that's kind of the sort of character that I want to kind of emulate on the ice.
Yeah, I grew up watching their dad Keith, and
Yeah,
they're definitely chips off the block for sure.
yeah.
So great start to the season. The losses kind of piled up a little bit in November, but you were still able to win when it mattered. I guess just how's the morale been, with the ebbs and flows of the season as it goes along? Being able to face some tough stretches. It seems like you guys have, remained undaunted, still gelled.
Yeah. I think we got a really good group of guys, so that made it a lot easier. When we were losing, we know we go to the rink every day and we work hard. We're a team. We get the job done, and it's just sort of a process, and we trust that process, and in the end, it'll all work out because we know we could do it. That first 10 games, we were on top of things, and maybe we went downhill slightly, but we never gave up. We, like you said, clawed out a few wins and looking to the future and really working as a team.
And during that hot start, your family actually made the trip over to come watch you for a few games with the Bucks. And how did they enjoy that?
Yeah, no, that was absolutely awesome for them to come out. They'd never seen BC before. So it was pretty cool for them to see that. And again, they'd never seen me play in front of kind of like a crowd or a rink like that before. So that was pretty awesome. It'd been a while to see them. So it was good to see them and kind of get them into the culture, everything, and meet my billet parents and how I'm just living out here. So it was great for them to come out.
Yeah, I know my color commentator Darren Feary got to spend a little bit of time with them, and I think they enjoyed their time together, from what I understand from Darren. And I know he's coming back from Hawaii in time to hear all this, so he'll send his regards to the family for sure.
Awesome. Yeah.
So I guess now that you've gotten used to the city a little bit, what are you doing away from the rink to kind of keep you busy? Any hobbies that maybe stick out to the fans here?
Well, just kind of hanging out with the guys, go to a few movies. But I have my Instagram and I run that online training business, so that's keeping me quite busy. It's definitely something I'm trying to focus on a lot with a lot of free time and no schooling. So yeah, I'm trying to grow that and see where that goes, and keeping in touch with friends and family is also a big one for me because being so far away and the big time difference, it's hard, so it takes an effort, but it's definitely worth it.
And looking ahead, what when it's all said and done this season, what do you want your main takeaways from your time here to be?
Just honestly, I want to, have fun playing hockey. Um, there was a time maybe a couple years ago where it became a little bit of a chore, and then I went into my senior year, and I was just like, you know what, it's just, let's have some fun and see what happens, and that's when I'm playing my best hockey. So I want to be able to, have fun for as long as I can and, be a good team guy, a good teammate, a good person. And I think that's the biggest thing that I want to take away from here with this culture is to just be a hard worker. We have this saying, it's like we before me. So, put the team first and be a good person and be a good teammate.
Speaking of good people, who's kind of your buddy on the team? Who are you clicking up with? I know it's a good tight knit group, but if you had to pick, two or three out of the group.
Yeah, no, we are, like you said, a very tight group and we all hang around each other and we all hang out after games. But, fellow Euro, I hang out with Ras a lot and Quinn
Mm.
Keeler. We go to the movies a few times, Jacob Fletcher, Sam Belanger, those guys. We were always at the rink until pretty late, going to the sauna or ice baths or whatever it may be. So we spend a lot of time around each other.
For a guy who doesn't get out to movies much, any recommendations of anything that's come out lately?
Yeah, I watched Gladiator 2 last night, which was absolutely
Okay.
awesome. So I highly recommend that.
I completely forgot there was a two coming out. And I remember the first one. I was about your age when it came out, and it was
Yeah.
badass then. So,
Yeah, it was
um,
good.
okay, good to know. Is that still Russell Crowe?
Yeah,
Okay.
it should be. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, I didn't know if it was Russell Crowe starring this time or not, but okay, right on. Um, Good to know. I'm gonna actually probably take a little bit of time on that pretty quick here. Um, so I'll start to wind it down, Sam, a little bit. Good chance to give a shout out to the Billets. They're such a big part of what we do, and maybe a little bit unsung heroes in some ways, definitely. Who are you staying with? What are they doing to kind of make your stay all that much better out here?
Yeah, no, they're absolutely awesome. I'm staying with Karen and Dana Fox. They've helped me massively. They give me rides around, whether it's be the gym to the rink, so I can stay later and maybe get a workout in or something like that. They've been, feeding me, which is obviously a huge part of it. They've definitely kind of just taken me into their family and supporting me throughout this whole process. They come to every game, cheer everyone on. So, it's like you say, they're unsung heroes. Sometimes they go unnoticed, but they're such a huge part of, I think, the team success and individual success that I'm very grateful to have a great billet family.